How solid are U.S.-Israeli ties? I had the opportunity to ask 3 visiting members of the U.S. House of Representatives recently. They also spoke to me about the role their faith plays in making decisions, their take on the Middle East, and what they did while they were here. Here's what Vicky Hartzler, Jeff Miller, and Gregg Harper had to say.
We went to the north and had the opportunity to see Iron Dome and David's Sling, which is very important for their national defense here as well as potentially in the United States down the road. And so enjoyed seeing that. Of course, visited with Benjamin Netanyahu and the defense minister. So that was an honor to visit with them and to let them know how much we support them and what they're doing and how we appreciate our friendship with Israel.
In addition to that, we've met with some local mayoral officials, and I think getting to know the local people helps really understand where the state of Israel is today.
How would you describe the state of Israeli-U.S. relations?
As it relates to the Congress, I would say that it is still strong. The House and the Senate both are very strong supporters of the state of Israel. Now, if you interject the president and some of his policies in, it becomes a little more political, and some of our friends on the other side of the aisle will go with the president on his issues. But I think that our friendship has been made to last forever.
They certainly have been strained a bit, no doubt, the perception anyway, but I hope that people will keep in mind, yes, the president struck a deal with Iran that the members of Congress overwhelmingly opposed. So we don't want to create the perception that this deal with Iran means that there's any weakening in the support. And certainly Congress controlling the financial aspects of the budget, and of course an omnibus that we did in December, you can see within that document the level of support that exists for Israel.
Many of America's Middle East allies have felt a little bit betrayed in the last few years. Do you think there's anything that can be done to redeem those relationships?
Oh, absolutely. You know, not only do we have Israel as a friend here, but we need to stand with Jordan and Egypt and some others in the area who traditionally for years we have been partners with. And it's very sad how they're questioning, are you still with us? We're in a position now because of the poor decisions and policies of this administration where our allies don't trust us and our enemies don't fear us. And we cannot continue down this road.
Sometimes it seems, sitting on this side of the ocean, that the West just doesn't get it. What do you think could be done to really let people know that the Middle East really is important to them? What happens here does affect them.
We have a current level in many areas of the news of a rewrite of history, and also sometimes bordering on propaganda. And so how do we get to the truth? And so we would hope that we would teach our children not to accept the professor's word in a liberal university or a liberal professor in a class that says that this is Israel's fault. Look behind that, challenge that, and go and see. And I think you'll find a completely different story than what's there.
I think really the only way that people can understand what happens here is to travel here. And once you travel and you see the geographic impediments that are here in the state of Israel with the placement of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip and how narrow the country is at certain places, it's very easy then to realize how difficult it is to protect the Israeli people.
How do you feel your faith plays into being a congresswoman?
It's a calling. I believe it's a ministry that we have, and in Romans it talks about that those who are elected or authorities are God's servants to do you good, and that's our role. And every day I try to seek His guidance, and just like David did, inquire of the Lord. Certainly the prayers of the people of the country make all the difference, because there is a spiritual battle going on in our country.
Every day I look to God for guidance in many of the decisions that I make. I always say that if I can lay my head down at night and sleep well, I know I've made good decisions that were backed up by facts and what I truly believe in, and the very root of my beliefs are rooted in the Bible.
It affects everything, every element, and you know that you have a responsibility to do the right thing and to know that whatever we do, I can't do it in my own strength.
Anything else you would like to add?
Just that I know that we spend so much time talking about the daily pressures that are here, the attacks, the terrorism, and sometimes we lose sight of some of the great success stories that are going on in Israel. I mean, it is an amazing land, not just from a biblical, historical perspective, but also this is one of the great high-tech centers in the world.
The promise says in Genesis 12:3, you know, I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you, and all nations of the world will be blessed through you. And I think that's why America has been blessed over the years, is because we have stood with Israel, and we can't turn back on that. We've got to continue that, not only because it's the right thing to do, but also because it's where the blessings of the Lord are, and for our country.